Friends, today I am taking inspiration from the scrap wood Dollar Tree started putting out, and I'm sharing 3 projects using the same type of wood but from Home Depot, giving you inspiration to use either option based on what you can find in your area. The wood I'm using from Home Depot is this common board 1x2 by 8 feet for $3.19 a piece. It is the exact same type of wood the Dollar Tree is selling, as you can see with them side by side. So starting on the first project, I'm using my miter box to also show you that you do not need fancy tools or saws to cut this wood. A miter box will work just fine. I cut down 3 pieces to 10 inches, which is the size piece of scrap wood I bought from the Dollar Tree to compare. And I'm making a plant stand for this beautiful cyclamen that my boss got for my birthday last month. I'm really trying hard to keep it alive. So I'm holding the pieces up around the plant to gauge how far apart I need them to sit. Next, I measured and cut 3 more pieces at 6 inches long. Since I'm making this plant stand with 3 legs instead of the typical 4, I will also need to cut an angle on these base pieces. And I did use my miter saw in the garage to cut a 30-degree angle, and that's the only cut for all of the projects today where I needed the big saw. Now I'm placing the angled pieces together to create a triangle for the base where my plant is going to sit. Using this super glue wood glue you can find at the Dollar Tree, I glued them together. I really love this glue, and I let the base dry for about 10 minutes. The glue works pretty quickly, then glued each of the legs about 3 inches down from the top. I also used my handy little level here to make sure the base was flat for my plant, and for extra security added a brad nail. With the legs on, I put some tape on the bottom just to make sure gravity didn't work against me here while the glue completely dried. Once everything dried, I stained the wood first with Early American because I have this stain in other areas of my living room where this plant stand is going to live, but I decided I didn't love it and ended up going with espresso instead. And that was it for this one. I absolutely love the way it turned out. Today I have partnered once again with my good friend Brandi from the DIY Struggle to bring you all inspiration as well as some cost-saving ideas using the scrap wood that Dollar Tree has put out. I feel like the scrap wood pieces from Dollar Tree are a total ripoff, but I completely understand if you don't have the option to cut wood yourself. It could absolutely be beneficial and convenient. I went large scale with my projects where Brandi went smaller, so you will absolutely find something in your wheelhouse between the two of us. So check out the description box for the link to Brandi's video, and if you came over from her channel, welcome. I enjoy all things DIY related, from room makeovers, upcycled decor, and even some IKEA hacks, so stick around for tons of home inspiration. For this project, I'm making a geometric wood art piece. You can find these all over Pinterest right now, so I took inspiration from different ones that I liked and started drawing out the design. Alright, so I built this frame. It's about 28 inches long, 1 foot wide. And I just built it out of MDF boards that are this thickness 1x2, just like the wood that you can get from the Dollar Tree. So this is the 10-inch piece of wood that I got from Dollar Tree, cut down the Home Depot pieces that I got and made them all 10 inches, the exact same size. So that's what we're going to be working with, is only this size and then cutting it down. This is going to have a diamond type pattern, and the center of all of my boards will be cut at 90 degrees. You can cut this angle with a miter box or a saw, whichever you have. I decided to cut all of my angles before laying out the pattern. Whew. Cut down all of my wood. So I started out with these 10-inch pieces from the Dollar Tree. So right there, that's $16 if you wanted to get this from the Dollar Tree, or probably about $4 from Home Depot. And then I cut 45-degree angles on all of them because we're going to start putting them together. The only cuts needed for this project are straight cuts and 45-degree angles. And to build the pattern, I started laying out the wood pieces with the 45-degree angles together, forming a point, and lined up 4 sets, one in front of the other. I did lay a scrap piece down in the middle so my wood didn't just fall while I was laying out my pattern. With the 4 sets laid out facing down, I'm going to do the same thing facing up, and the bottoms will start overlapping, as this is where I'm going to make another straight cut. When I was happy with where the spacing in the middle is, I drew a line and cut these pieces down. Now you can start to see the pattern coming together. This is a symmetrical design, so both the top and bottom will be cut the same way. Once both sides are cut down, here's what it should look like. We aren't quite done yet though. Next, I took the frame and laid it down on top of the pattern this time. This way I can draw a line and know exactly where to cut so the shape fits perfectly inside my frame. I also numbered each piece so I knew where it belonged. This cut is going to be a 45-degree angle, so you should end up with 8 pieces that have a 45-degree angle and a straight cut, and then 8 pieces with 2 45-degree angles in opposite directions. This is what everything should look like all cut. I took a fine grit sandpaper to go over all of the cut edges and made sure they were nice and smooth. And now it's time to paint. I'm using fawn as the main color and creating an ombre using white and black. And the way these are painted is what will bring that design to life. So starting with fawn by itself, I painted what will be the second row from the bottom and then the third row from the top. The next section, I added some white to lighten the color, and then again added more white until it was a very pale beige, and again working my way around the pattern. Adding the black was very tricky. Instead of making the fawn color deeper, which is what I wanted, it turned out to be a charcoal-like color, and I ended up playing with this one a lot until I was somewhat happy with it. I do wish it was more of a deeper brown tone, but I couldn't figure out how to get that to work with the tone of the rest of this piece. For the background, my husband helped me cut a piece of plywood, and I painted the top half of it and then that center square white and then the bottom black, adding to the ombre vibe. All that's left to do is glue everything together, and for this I used my wood glue hot glue so it would dry quickly. What do you guys think of this? I absolutely love the way this turned out. I need a better vocabulary than to always saying I absolutely loved it. For this one, I already cut down my pieces, so I have 2 that are 2 feet long, 24 inches, 2 that are 8 inches, and then 4 that are about 4 inches. This is the easiest project for today. All I'm gonna do is take the smallest pieces, glue and brad nail them to both ends of the longest pieces, and then take the medium-sized piece and attach the 2 longer pieces together. After the piece was built, I did go back and added 2 more brads to each piece to make sure this is going to hold up. I saw this on Pinterest as a towel holder, and I'll show you how that looks, but I had the idea to use this to hold all of my vinyl in my craft room, so there are multiple ways you could use something like this to organize areas of your home. That's all I got for you today, friends. I'll see you in the next one.